go to
check this out. This is what Vincent refers to as the Thrifty drip.
Yeah, you didn't expect a guy to be wearing these. I mean, you saw the cake. Yeah.
That's hard-earned cake right there.
Yeah.
That's not born with.
There's no BBL here.
You got to work for that one.
Yeah, wear what you want, be comfortable with what you like, and be so comfortable that sometimes it makes other people comfortable. And I say that in the best interest of just saying, be inspiring to other people. I'm not gonna curse in front of people's children and say that's just how I am. That's not being comfortable. You're making people uncomfortable in a different way. Make yourself so comfortable it makes other people wonder, how did you get to this level of comfort? And then just share whatever it is. Because it's a long journey, and sometimes you can just help people create their own path. It doesn't mean they have to follow yours, but just get them set on what it is that you would do. Yeah. And maybe they'll take it and be able to interpret it for themselves.
I think that's critical thinking, right? You inspire critical thinking. I call it challenging a paradigm.
Nice.
And that's what my theater was about. It was about creating works that challenge the current paradigm, or current is unnecessary to say, but getting people, challenging their thinking and getting people out of their comfort zone, thinking about why am I doing what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. Is it by rote? Am I really engaged with what I'm doing? And where did this idea to do it this way start from? Mm-hmm. A lot of times they're just implanted. They've just been there.
Right.
We don't know why we do what we do, and I think the more we think critically about our behaviors and our why we do what we do, the better off we'll all be.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I think sometimes we need to examine our nature rather than follow the nurture. Because there's cultural and societal norms that we just follow, and then like you said, we don't question it. It's just how it's always supposed to be done, and there's so much more out there when you start asking questions.
Yeah, it's evolution, really. I mean, if we just went by what was installed in our great grandparents, right. Can you imagine what kind of world we'd be in?
Right.
So I mean, it's not like revolutionary in the sense that we don't already do it. It's just we should do it more.
Right.
We should do it a lot more.
Right, and it's internal. It may not change the trajectory of it may not create an infrastructure that everyone can use, but it's still just your own little infrastructure. So as long as we do live in a bubble, keep recreating that bubble. What's your ecosystem? In your case, eating better. Turning to a whole different lifestyle and just code of ethics and morals, and seeing. There's a lot of people that they do certain things, i.e. eating better, but then they don't see the humanity behind animal treatment and things like that. So you've taken it and expanded it on a much wider plane that a lot of people don't think about. They just think, I just want to fit in that wedding dress, or it's hot girl summer, or
the Beyonce vegan diet.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she supposedly went plant-based for a while, and called herself vegan, and then I'm not vegan anymore. It's like,
of course.
I mean, it's like saying I'm not racist anymore. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I tried not being racist.
Yeah.
I tried not being, an offender or whatever, criminal, I guess.
Right, and now
I don't know. Now it's okay.
It kind of worked out, but
you just, you want to do what's right for you and the world, and nobody's perfect, and veganism isn't a diet per se. It's
that's right. That's the part.
It's about doing as little harm as possible. And we all do harm, and it's the nature of being alive. And a lot of times people like to point that out when you say you're vegan. They're like, oh, well, you kill animals by eating plants, you kill plants by eating plants, and you still have to use gas and ship things. And it's like, yeah, man, there's cows in everything, in the tires, and the animals are exploited, but in so many ways in this world. But it doesn't mean that we should do the lazy thing and not reduce as much as possible
Right.
our consumerism and our support for animal exploitation any more than we should do it for human exploitation.
Agreed.
You
Minimize
know,
the damage.
humans are exploited in the animal industry, and that's a big reason why I'm vegan too. It's like the people that work in the slaughterhouses, those aren't the best jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Those people
right.
do that work because they have to, most of them. And imagine the people who do it because they love it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
need
If
help.
that's your thing,
There's
like,
a level there too.
I don't know if I want to know you.
Right. It does create a reason for pause. I think a slaughterhouse is pretty different. It's a different environment.
And even not just slaughterhouses, but just in the animal agriculture exploitation, they kind of go together. Animal agriculture exploitation industry. You know, we're making money off of slaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just not humans in that capacity, but
No, but they're sentient beings. They have thoughts, feelings, emotions. They feel pain and all that stuff. So.
yeah, it's the same premise. Captive from a young age, and now you're performing for someone else's benefit as entertainment in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Including the people. The people are also enslaved in that industry that we use to abuse and exploit animals. We're exploiting humans in the same way.
yeah.
Low wages, unclean, unsafe working environments. You know, the COVID, killed a lot of the meat production because people were going to work sick and they were infecting each other. You know, and because there's no space. Like,
No,
you're
yeah.
real close to each other.
I would imagine, it's an assembly line of blood.
To speak on veganism.
Yeah. But you're right. People do get taken in for the money and are exploited. I kind of went down the path of wondering, like when we hear about the ivory, people, and well, you're going to a very poor place and giving people money and jobs to help you track down animals that are a part of their natural structure, but money, unfortunately rules, especially in a very impoverished areas.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's not exactly a conscious choice. It's not a choice for the people in the industry. Well, same with coffee and a lot of like chocolate, diamonds. Where do you want to?
Well, yeah.
Where do you draw the line? It's like
go along with it or
abstain.
But under what threat are you possibly under? Like, I always thought it great.
Oh yeah, from their perspective.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice.
Like a great film would be to get a job as a border patrol agent, but then the cartel leans on you to, you know what I mean? So now they know who you are, and do you have a choice but to go along with it under threat of what can happen to your family if you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
as a public servant, I'm sure your records are available.
Right. So a lot of people, I think in a lot of circumstances, it's like when you see in violent neighborhoods, nobody tells where are you going to go.
Yeah.
There's no protection.
Oh, we're not talking. No.
Right.
Wait, I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Or we're gonna put drugs in your house for a while. You can't. Who are you saying no to? The same people that are gonna catch you coming home from the store or work, or catch your son, or
Oh yeah.
There, in a lot of cases, I feel like there isn't a no. It's not. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do.
I haven't seen it yet, but for some reason, it just reminds me of local filmmaker Ira Daniels.
Yeah, Ira. I remember
System.
him from music.
Have you seen The System?
No.
It's a movie that he did. It's on my watch list. I gotta watch it. It's got Owen Conway in it.
Okay.
But local filmmaker, IROC.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that movie.
IROC Studios. I remember when it was just music, and that was the place that you would go if you really wanted like that. He was the guy. He was like the person that everybody spoke to if you were a local rapper. That you went to IROC Studios. and I don't think I ever made it there.
Not yet.
Is he still doing music?
I'm sure he would for the right project. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I know he's making movies. And movies have music in them.
Yeah, so he may be doing his own soundtrack or working with people.
I recall I know he did a music video for someone. I don't know if he produced their song or not. But that was pretty recently, that I saw a couple of years. Yeah, I like works, art, that kind of speak on all that stuff, like your poetry and your music. Gives you something to think about. It's not just fluff.
No, I was fortunate to perform yesterday at a friend's cancer.
I saw that.
Yeah, and
How'd that go?
I've done 2 of them, and she had one last month, and she's gonna have another one in June, and she'll have one in August and November. She's trying to raise money for her own cancer treatment.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she's just getting no shows.
Yeah.
But I still go and do something, and the last time there were 8 people, this time there was, I think, 4. But the people that, I always feel like people that show up are there for a reason. So I met with one of the gentlemen that was there, and he liked one of the pieces that I did. I'll perform, whether it's one person or 100,
Yeah.
If it helps her cause or if it makes her feel better, then I'm all for it. But he was talking about doing photography, and he wanted to put images to like pieces and stuff. So I did Stand Proudly, which is, I've already done that, but I thought, I can collaborate with somebody who has better images, better pictures. He might have something more to offer to it. So I'm all for the collaboration where that's concerned. And of course, we have a bunch of things to collaborate on as well.
Yeah.
One of which is I'd really like to be able to do a sit down with a group of different ages of men. I've noticed that there's a bunch of young guys at my job, early 20s, that come to me, will ask me just life questions.
Yeah,
I don't know them for more than a day or 2, and they're already asking. I thought, this would be a good place to kind of sit down. We see so many of the gender, sort of back and forth. But why, if that's the case, if we're having all of these problems with each other, why don't each team collectively sit down with themselves, and kind of straighten some things out in that capacity first? Or maybe it helps, because a lot of these guys don't have.
Well, yeah, often it's called a safe space, for women and other marginalized groups, but men need a safe space too, in that regard, to express and query, to get the questions answered, and to explore what it means to be a man. And
Right.
It's not a topic that's often addressed.
Not respected.
And honestly, very skewed. A lot of times with the information that is readily available, you've got some pretty warped ideas.
Yes.
Which is sadly where a lot of people are getting their information.
Yeah, a lot of the focus now is on the unicorn being 6'2", 6 figures. Like there's a whole thing behind that, and I love watching the whole stuff about high value men, because I speak to it about being low value, and not as a person themselves, but as a low earner. And men are the same, because as I've watched it, I watch the content to see what are the differences, and there are no differences, honestly, besides how much you earn. But men impoverished, men in riches can still cheat. Men impoverished, men in riches still want the same thing from women as far as what they see. We're visual creatures. So why would anybody who's earning less than the next person not want the